All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. I want to come on here and talk about, I guess you would say, exercise, fitness, weight loss, blase, etc., whatever it may be. There are a lot of you that have been around long enough to know me when I was 247 pounds, 252 pounds. And I'm about 5'11". And of course, you know, many people, when they come to see me, they see this real big, massive man. And now, here it is a few years later, you see me, I'm at 212, no more than 220. And of course, while I'm losing this weight, or even when I had a lot of weight, lifting weights, a bunch of it, people notice and they ask me, you know, especially brethren, Pastor Dowell, what in the world do you do to still maintain a muscular figure? I mean, you really look good. You really look good, and you really look in shape. And of course, you know, I tell them it's years of trial and error, and it's knowing what to do. Now, believe me, you go out here to the fitness industry. There are 1,000 books written out there. And every last one of them seem to be experts. And of course, you know, we live in a world, unless you go to school, get their education, believe what they say, and then receive their certification, they do not believe that you know what you're talking about. Well, I mean, hey, I didn't go to their school. I did not receive their certification, their education, nor did I have their certificate. I use applied wisdom in what I believe, and I know to be truthful and factful. The springtime is here. Summertime is coming up. And of course, you know, you don't want to be carrying around a lot of weight. So I thought I'd come on here just for a minute and try my best to give you wisdom, because young and old alike ask me questions, especially about health and fitness and everything else, you know, because, you know, again, we have an assembly that nobody's under prescription drugs. I mean, how many assemblies can say that? How many churches can say that? I think Mother Stallings is 86 years old. And Eliana, I think she's like 6 months old, 7 months old here or something like that. But hey, nobody's on prescription drugs. We do, I mean, I'm not anti-doctor now, don't get me wrong. If there's a serious medical emergency, then we will go there. But we just don't run to the doctor for everything. But anyway, let me come on here this morning and try to give you some wisdom. Now, you have to understand, wisdom is applied knowledge. I can talk to you all day long till I'm blue in the face. But until you begin to apply this knowledge, you'll be a fool. I mean, what good is it to sit and listen to wisdom and see an example in front of you that actually applies the same wisdom that he is telling you, and you don't do it? You're not going to benefit from it whatsoever at all. So it makes no difference if I'm 247 pounds and I'm benching 495 pounds, 475, and all this, and repping 225 for, you know, I remember there was a time I was repping 225 pounds 44 times. And I'm not talking about in my youth, in my 20s, or in my 30s. I'm talking about in my early 40s I was doing this. Because I was laying a lot of brick and a lot of block. And then what happened was while laying a lot of block, because I've laid almost every single block on this community. I probably have laid probably like 80% of the blocks on this community with the brethren helping me. And then I pretty much have just literally wore this shoulder out and stuff. And so I've had to back off of the weights for about almost 2 years now. And so people ask me, how do you continually maintain that shape, that frame? How do you do it, Pastor Dowell? And so if I get to, you know, I usually get a brother to ask me that, and some sisters that will ask me that. And then what I'll do is I'll wait close to the end of the meeting when it's time for people to get ready to go. I'll usually get them all together and say it one time rather than going through this spiel. So I just thought I'd put this video out here for a second. Okay. All right. First of all, number one, let's go into it. If you're going to maintain some form of health, number one, you have to be disciplined. You need to be disciplined. You need to learn how to control your appetite. You need to learn how to be disciplined. You know, you think about this. If a person is not disciplined, they can't be trusted. If you cannot trust a person with food, and they can't trust themselves with food, then you can't be trusted with anything else. It's inevitable you're going to deal with hunger pains, but the problem is that people, they just do not know how to eat the right types of foods and when to eat them depending on what they're doing. So let's start with food first, because food is the biggest and the most important part of it. You need protein, you need fats, and you need carbohydrates. Contrary to popular belief, that's what you need. There's 1 billion books out there, 1,000 books out there written, and they all basically telling you to eat less and exercise more. Yeah, but eating less, but eating what though? In order to eat less, because you still have to, most people want to feel fulfilled, because if you like the majority of Americans, if you're sitting on your ass all day long, you go to the store and buy a bunch of bad stuff. And if it's sitting in that house, your body is going to gravitate and it's going to find it. And it's going to find it off the shelf, and then it's going to end up in your mouth. That's exactly where it's going to end up at. And then you're going to wonder why come you developing a fat tire. And because, everybody puts fat in different places. Women, they put fat either only behind or around this gut and midsection. All right, follow me? Some of them got it hanging down off their arms. Some of the women's arms are bigger than Pastor Dowell's. Can you believe that? And they carry in different places. Men, they carry it around their midsection. That's the reason why they deal with impotence. And a lot of other these problems and stuff. And also impotence has to do with this mind up here as well as stress levels. So I got a lot going on in this video. So anyway, let's run with it. I said you need protein, fats, and carbohydrates. That's exactly what you need. Now, the type of proteins you need are good proteins. Anytime you sit down for a meal, you need some form of protein. You need protein because it needs to help metabolize the blood sugar. You need slow digesting. Did you hear what I said? You need slow digestion. That's what you need. You don't need this fast stuff. The majority of things that you eat in this life, it's very high in carbohydrates. And these carbohydrates, which are not complex carbohydrates, they quickly turn into sugar into your system. And when they turn into sugar in your system, that's why a lot of black folks deal with a high level of diabetes. I didn't say white folks didn't have them, but black people have a lot. They deal with a lot of high level of diabetes because they put the wrong junk into their bodies. They deal with a lot of ailments and stuff. Now, people will be around here and say, well, Pastor, man, your back hurting, this, that. It's because I'm always doing something. That's because I'm always using muscles that I haven't been accustomed to using lately and stuff. And I understand the cycle that I need to go through. But you need, like, for instance, the best food for you to eat in the morning is oatmeal with scrambled eggs mixed in, or scrambled eggs on the side. Well, I don't like oatmeal. Then keep your ass the way you are then. Just stay the way you are. Saggy, out of shape, depressed, and oppressed. I'm just telling you my advice. But it's oatmeal. And I'm not talking about this flavored oatmeal with a little cinnamon and a little sugar and a little this and a little that. Old-fashioned oatmeal. Oatmeal with eggs. Because you have your protein in there. And what that's going to do is that's going to help you stabilize blood sugar. And it's going to keep insulin from spiking in your body. Because anytime you have insulin and then HGH, with your body releases, constantly combating each other and stuff, you're going to have a bad situation. So that's the reason why you can work out and don't see any results. I'm getting to the point my body is and my shoulder is that I'm going to start working out. And you'll be able to tell, because within 3 months, you'll think that, my God, what in the world that man been doing? He's been taking drugs. A lot of people have accused me in the past of taking steroids. I've never once ever taken steroids in my life. It's just that I know what I'm doing. I've been through all the trial and error. But you need chicken, you need beef. And the things you need to stay away from, contrary to popular opinion, is you need to stay away from anything white. You need to stay away from white bread. You need to stay away from pastas. You need to stay away from white rice. You need to stay away from anything starchy, anything that is white, period. You just need to stay away from it because it ain't good for your body. Now, if you're going to eat pastas, are you following me? You can eat pasta. Now, I know I just said stay away, but listen to me. You can eat pasta providing that you're doing something. But don't tell me that you eating the food to get full, or eating some food to get full, some complex carbohydrate or carbohydrates to get full, and then you wondering why come you're not losing weight, because then you'll turn around and eat a salad. Another good carbs is, because we're on carbs now, okay? I guess we talked about protein earlier, now we're on carbs. You can eat green leafy vegetables and an abundant supply of them: spinach, collard greens, cabbage, kale, I go Bibb lettuce, romaine. You can eat all vegetables, but stay away from potatoes. Don't eat white potatoes because it turns into sugar into your system. And what you're going to do is you're going to create an environment to where the insulin is spiking in your body. And all this is sports science, which I know you don't know because you have never exercised really and didn't done any due diligence stuff with it. And because it takes education. I believe in self-education and trial and error, doing it myself, see what's going to work for me. But blood sugar is big. It's real big. But you need to stay away from white potatoes. If you're going to eat any type of potato, you eat a sweet potato. That's the best potato in the world for you to eat. And only eat sweet potatoes. Growing white potatoes is just asking for you to be a diabetic and end up in diabetic or coma one day. Now, most people, like I said, there's 1,000 people that would disagree with me. Now, beans, white beans or navy beans, pinto beans, those are good source of carbs as well as protein. Drink a whole boatload of water throughout the day. And if you're going to consume protein after a workout, wait at least 30 minutes to an hour. Don't do it immediately after because you're going to inhibit the HGH that is coming from you. Now, when you work out, there's two different things. You can work out to gain muscle. You can work out to stay toned and to lose fat. You got a whole bunch of ways to do this. But the one thing about it is there ain't no magic pill and there's no magic food that's going to save your rear end if you're going to eat this and do all this and you ain't going to get out there and get to moving. And the biggest thing when it comes to exercise that you need more than anything is resistance training. You need some type of weight training. I talked about high intensity training because the ideal is you want to create your body an environment. I'm going to try to stay away from these $20,000 words and make it simple. But you want to create an environment that your body in itself can constantly burn fat. All right. See, I haven't been able to do much exercise at all. And nor I'm not going to take off my shirt and pose for you and stuff. You can pretty much, if you know what a human body looks like, when you see my shirt on and stuff, you can pretty much tell what it looks like. And that's good enough. But what I'm saying is that I forgot what I was saying. Well, maybe it'll come up. But anyway, you've got to do some type of resistance training where you're going to get your heart rate up. Now, my advice is that, for instance, we have a hill out here. I never do 30, 45-minute cardio sessions. I stopped all that junk and crap after I was in the military. We get out there and ruck with 100-pound rucksacks and stuff, 12, 15 miles. We run 8 to 10, 12 miles and stuff in 80 seconds and stuff, and I couldn't stand it because I knew what was going on. I'm actually cannibalizing my system itself. Couldn't stand it. So when I got out of the military and stopped all that, and I did choke down a boatload of protein and carbs when I was in there in order to try to maintain some type of muscle definition. But we have a hill right here, and it takes. When I'm out of shape, it takes me 5 minutes from bottom to top to run it. And sometimes I end up walking, starting off. When I'm in shape, I can run that thing in 2 minutes and 40 seconds from bottom to top. But the way you do it is you get your heart rate up while you breathe. I mean bad breathing. You do that for a solid minute. Then you walk for a minute to get your heart rate back down. Then you hit it again for another minute. Just about killing yourself. About having a heart attack, roll over. And then you walk for another minute or two. Then you hit it again. You understand? You're doing that when you do that. Think about that. When you do that, you're burning all this stored sugar that your body has been just packing on throughout the last few days and weeks. And then what happens is that for the next couple of days after you get finished with that workout, and you only have to do it 10 to 15 minutes, when you get finished doing that, you are creating what you call a fat burning machine for the next 24 to 36 hours. Now, in contrast, I'll give you an example. You go over here and you look, sometimes they have the Summer Olympics and stuff and everything. Go look at sprinters, people who do a lot of long distance running stuff. They look like death on a stick. They look just like a dang toothpick and stuff. They so unhealthy and they don't know they're aging themselves. That's why, there's this guy named Dr. Byron from Wellness Resources, 57 years old, run every day. All of a sudden he just roll over and dead and die. I know that nobody can actually predict the day, hour, or the time, but he did a lot of running, a lot of cardio. Well, I believe in cardio. I don't believe in that junk. Then you look at the sprinters and look and see who run the 100 meters, 440, 220. You look at them. They're muscular. They're muscular and stuff, and they live longer. And it's just amazing. And I mean, the people most people, again, we are so desensitized in this world that if somebody hadn't written it down in the book, we ain't gonna believe it. And even if it did written in the book, it still ain't gonna get us off our fat rear end and move. When you get older, your metabolism slows considerably down. So you definitely need to be watching what you eat and stuff, because you're getting ready to. I can't tell you how many times I've seen old people just literally suffer because their quality of life is diminished because they simply can't put a knife to their throat and just purely lazy. They ain't gonna move, make excuses for everything. I have pains and stuff. I have this shoulder pain and stuff. And even at that, I try to find the target area where I'm not hurting myself. And I will always keep going and stuff, because I know the older you get, the body's breaking down, and you have to really be more responsible for what you're doing. Maybe I'll talk about this a little bit more. Eat whole grains. I don't care what them bookers say. Eat whole grains and stay away from high fructose corn syrup. It's a cancer. I'll talk to you more about this a little bit later on. I got to get going here this morning, and I'll come back and do another health video. I don't even know what I'm going to title this, but whatever it be, it'll be right. And drink water, clean water. Stay away from chlorinated, fluoride, bottled water. Stay away from that junk. Buy you a distiller. You can get a distiller all day long for $100. Maybe order one from Sears or something like that. We have an industrial distiller here on the community, and it costs well over $1,000-something and stuff, and we still drink that water up like it's I don't know what. We have a distiller, reverse osmosis machine, and I tell you, but anyway, hey, I just told you. I told you clearly what it is. I hope that you understood what I said and you be encouraged. King Kong.